Hello everyone, GariTalks. I'm loving my hair. It makes me so happy. I did it myself. If anybody's interested in getting their hair done, I do yarn locks. I do yarn things. I'm also really good at Marley locks. This is just a random thought I had, but if you're looking for that, I'm also about to shave these sides because I'm looking frump-a-dump. It's still cute though. I wanted to talk today about the courage to live in your truth. A lot of people ask me that, and it's a kind of strange question to be asked. Like, how is it that you're like just yourself? Like, how do you just live like that? I'm like, how else was I supposed to live? As who else? Like, and I realize it is a fair question. A lot of us are taught how we're supposed to live, right? And if we're not openly taught in terms of like, you better not get no damn tattoos, and you better get a job, and you better not do drugs, like in terms of like direct things that your parents are telling you often, there's also, you can see based on who they approve of and who they disapprove of. And you can take that to mean cues for what you should do, right? In The Midnight Gospel, this amazing show on Netflix, y'all should check it out if you have not. There's an episode where he's talking to his mother, and his mother was saying how, when your parents affirm a thing in you, you will take that as part of a positive part of your identity. So for instance, if you help out mom with the baby when the baby's born, and you give her a diaper and she praises you a lot for it, you're going to be like, okay, so it's good for me to do this. I am helpful. I'm being rewarded. I am a helpful person. That's great, right? Until it gets out of hand, right? Where you're helping people at your expense. If that's the only way that you find value is by being helpful, then you're going to put a lot of weight on being helpful in ways you might sacrifice yourself to be helpful to somebody else because you want that validation that is, I'm a good person. I am a helpful, valuable person, right? So the first part of me disentangling myself, or the first part of me stepping into myself, was disentangling myself with what my parents and family expected and thought of me. That is an ongoing process. Because you're always getting feedback from them, positive and negative, right? Like, there was a time when my hair wasn't like this. It was shorter and rainbow colored, and I wasn't fully done with it. I remember I came downstairs and my dad looked at me and he was like, but he didn't say anything, which is a step up, because he used to be the type to open his mouth and be like, really? And so, I don't know, in seeing that, it gave me a moment of noticing his growth, right? And also recognizing I'm firm at, like, I loved the hair color that I had. So I was like, okay, cool. Like, I'm glad to know that you don't favor it, but I'm also glad to see that you respect my choices. And that's been, like I said, after a long go of just doing my thing. I think my hair has been the most helpful part of breaking out of like normalcy for me, because my hair has always been very interesting. And I think the septum ring helped a lot too, because I got it at a time when people were getting it, but it was still weird to have a ring in your face. So I think standing outside of the norm in those ways have been really helpful, and being like, these are the choices that I want. Right? And being clear, I think the most important thing is being clear on what you want. What is actually important to you? What is actually valuable to you? What makes your life richer? To me, I know I'm a very different person. I know there's nobody else like me. And it's not like I look different so that I can maintain that. It is because I am different, I will have different interests, and I will look different. Right? And I like colors. Like, I want a colorful life. I want life to be filled with color. I think we are so muted. And so I like color. I like to do things that are colorful. I like to say things that are colorful. I like to make people laugh. And that is why I make certain choices that will lead me in that direction. So doing my hair a particular way, wanting to live a particular way. The reason I say this journey is ongoing too is I'm currently going through a transition in my dreams. I've always thought I wanted like a big space, like a house with all of these things, but I'm realizing I want a mobile type of home, right? So I'm not sure if it's going to be a tiny home or a schoolie house or a converted van or RV. I don't know yet, but it's going to be on wheels and it's going to be moving. I'm feeling a schoolie OD. That's my favorite so far. But like, even in shifting into that's been a lot. That's been the past, like, let's say 2 months. I've been going back and forth with it. Because it's something that I saw that was really intriguing, but then I was like, but do I really want to do that? I gotta let go of a lot of things. I'm gonna have to change so much. Like, thinking about all the reasons why I shouldn't do it. But then constantly finding myself back there, looking at things up, feeling intrigued by the houses, being like, wow, I can really imagine that though. Like, and trying to think, okay, so if it's not going to be the tiny house thing, where am I going to live? And every time I think of a place, I'm like, well, there's like 5 other places I want to visit. So I don't want to pay for a box when I'm going to be somewhere else, you know? And it's only been really recently, especially with the separation of like, oh, that was an attachment that I had, was like, oh, I want to kind of stay around for my partner, right? That was cool, because once that shifted, I started feeling what I want so much harder. And I think that's a big part of becoming yourself, is letting go of the attachments you have to other people and what they believe about you and what they feel about you and what they think about you and what they say about you and what they, you know, because whatever, bro, right? Because if 2 people were play fighting and you saw them and it was very serious, you wouldn't necessarily know that it was play fighting. Right? Because it's your outside perception. You can't always know what's going on the inside. The most important person that needs to know what's going on the inside is you. And it's not to say that you know every single moment that's unfolding, because I definitely don't know every single thing that happens with me or every single moment that unfolds within myself. However, I've learned to hold myself. I've learned to approve of myself and to praise myself and appreciate myself. That's something that is definitely a work in progress. I'm actually trying to think of more ways to build gratitude in my life and make sure to take the time out to appreciate how far I have come and how beautiful I have become, inside I'm speaking on, like through all my experiences. Because it's really like a lot of the time when we're looking outside for that validation is because we're not giving ourselves the validation. We're not giving ourselves the praise. And I can say that for a fact because the amount of people who think I'm beautiful on a regular basis is outstanding, right? It's kind of annoying actually going places and people like, can I get to know you? Like, oh, yo. But then not feeling that way inside, that's when I knew it's more important how you feel inside than what people are saying to you outside. And I've always had it the opposite way, where it's like, if you think you're so great and everybody around you talking about how you're ass, you might need to review and be like, in what ways do I do things that make people feel like I'm ass, right? And I think it's funny in my situation, so many people think that I'm great and I think I'm ass. And it's like, no, Gary, actually start maybe seeing what people are talking about. Maybe tap into that for yourself. Do you really think everybody's an idiot or a liar? I do not, right? So there's a truth. There's a truth to that. And I'm leaning into the truth that I am my own answer, right? And I know what's best for me, right? I might make choices that look like mistakes or that don't serve me and etc. But this is my journey. I am learning every step of the way. I'm making my mistakes to learn my lessons. And yes, it'd be great if I can avoid a particular thing. If somebody gives me a particular thing, yeah, sure. Like if I know not to invest in a particular place, okay, fine. And also, who's to say that won't work for me? You know? So if I had to summarize everything I said, I need to definitely work on listing things out. But if I could summarize everything I had said, I would say the most important and key factors to becoming your truest self and like really being unabashed in yourself is knowing what you want, like knowing what is important to you, what you value in this world. That is like a huge question in and of itself. Releasing yourself from past conditioning. So releasing yourself from what your parents may have told you, what society may have told you, what your pastor may have told you that you can and cannot be. Also releasing attachments, because those are attachments that you have to those beliefs. So I would put them together, but releasing attachments that stand in the way of what you're trying to do, right? So if you want to live your life, but you're super attached to what your mom thinks, something's got to give, right? So, and then the last one I would say, number 4, is be willing to take risks. Or not the last one. The 4th one I would say is be willing to take risks. And you know, if you want a life to look a particular way, you need to go out and do that, right? If somebody's not doing a thing, yeah, fine, somebody else might be doing a thing, but also get up and do it. So for instance, if I want the dishes washed, am I going to sit here and complain about how the dishes are washed? I can go talk to somebody and be like, can you wash these dishes? Or I can go wash the dishes, right? Either one is a risk. And the last thing I would say is definitely learn how to validate yourself and soothe yourself and hold yourself, because that is the most important thing. you need to know how to hold you at the end of the day. Like, other people can hold you all they want, but when they're not there, when it's you on your deathbed by yourself, when you're dying by yourself in the underworld, when all those things, you're going to be alone, and you will have never learned how to soothe yourself. And that's important. So do the things.